Hey, hello, you're stuck in Travel Wolf Core, like a few minutes riffing on IT and IC security. Today looking at Petya, right, the latest flash ransom, and what it means about sharing the same administrator password on all your desktops. So conference room, right, set the scene. Conference room, executives, pen testers, I'm there, we're reporting on the latest pen test. Sometimes I tell these stories and I wonder if customers are listening, so if you're thinking, wait, was that my meeting? Probably wasn't, because this happens all the time. Maybe it was. Maybe you're familiar with the story, because I'm familiar with the story, because it goes something like this. We found that all your desktops have the same administrator password. IT guys go, meh. And I can't blame them. When I was responsible for IT, I'm like, of course I'm going to have a different password for every desktop? That's not scalable. But you don't really know until it happens how bad that practice is when it comes to lateral motion. So tip to you, don't use the same admin password on your desktops, and if you're looking for ammunition on why you should change it, take a look at Petya. Petya was the latest flash ransom, very similar to WannaCry. When WannaCry hit, I mentioned that like 8% of the desktops are still running Windows XP, so somewhere in the neighborhood of more than 2 million. I mentioned that manufacturing oftentimes still has vulnerable systems, and I mentioned that showdown scans showed anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 million hosts on the internet listening on those SMB ports. Maybe not Windows, maybe not vulnerable, but definitely listening on those ports. So we were lucky. We were lucky with WannaCry that it only stopped at 250,000. But someone used that same exploit, someone fired it up again, and bam, we're back into a flash ransom situation with Petya. Now, here's what's kind of interesting about that. We've had instances where it's just one lone machine gets infected. Maybe it was missed, maybe it fell through the cracks in the vulnerability management program. I don't know, maybe you can't patch it. And then it starts doing lateral exploitation. It starts taking the administrator password on that computer and trying to log in to other computers on the network. This is not uncommon. This is one of the number one things hackers do all the time, right? Because local admin has the same SID every single time. And if you have the same SID and the same creds, patching those hashes from desktop to desktop, very, very easy. And so you compromise one desktop, and then Petya scans out to all the desktops it can talk to, passes those admin hashes, and reinfects. Even though those subsequent machines were not vulnerable to Eternal Blue, right? Even though you may have only had one patient zero that had that flaw that allowed Petya and previously WannaCry to get in, everything else falls like dominoes when you're sharing those admin passwords. So change them. Use different admin passwords. Why do we do this? Because it's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt to have different admin passwords on every single machine. There's now Lapse, which is available through Microsoft, which maybe I'll cover in another video, but check that out. That's one solution that makes it very easy to maintain different passwords. Another thing that you could do if you're absolutely positively have to have the same password, well, rename the admin account, create a new one, and use that. It's still not very secure, but for common attacks like this, it pains me to say this is becoming a common attack. But for scenarios like we find ourselves in post Petya, that will help. What do you think? Any good recommendations on how to avoid the lateral motion of this flash ransom? Comments, social media, hit me up. Cheers.